outdoors.
I've been tagged, thanks Darren, the Tentman. I've been tagged to give my 5 tips for beginners to wild camping. So I'll give it a go. There's been a lot of videos out at the minute about this subject, and pretty much all the subjects are gone, so I'll do my best. My first tip would be, I mean, I've had experience this myself, is make sure your essential gear is in good order, is working, i.e. I bought a thermomess nearwear, and I thought, I'll blow it up. As soon as I got it, I blew it up, I left it in the garage overnight, come down in the morning and it was virtually flat. So luckily I sent it back and got a new one, and it's been fine ever since. But if I hadn't checked it, I'd have had a really uncomfortable night that night. So that's one little thing. And also, like, you know, like your tent, make sure you've got your pegs and your poles. Even make sure you've got your bloody tent. I mean, because your essential gear, if you've got that, you're going to survive the night. You can forget a few bits and bobs, but as long as your essential gear's working all right, you're going to survive. So tip 1, make sure all your essential gear is working and you've actually got it. Tip 1, essential gear, you've been told. Tip 2, wild camping. Not strictly legal, is it? As we all know, but it's tolerated as long as we keep to the guidelines, which is don't camp near the paths, camp out the way. I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube over the years where people have been hiking, you know, it's starting to get late, so they think, oh, we need to find this pitch, oh, this looks good, and they camp like 3 foot from the path. It's not on. Camp away from the paths. You're supposed to be stealth. No one's supposed to know you're there. If you're camping right next to the path, everyone can see you. Early morning dog walkers, late evening dog walkers, doggers. No, forget that one. So yeah, tip 2, stay away from the paths. Get behind a wall or behind a hedge, somewhere where you can't be seen. So tip 2, camp away from the paths. You've been told. Tip 3, keep your tent tidy. A tidy tent is a happy tent, and a happy tent is going to have a happy occupant. I mean, I don't practice this myself, I really need to, and I'm going to start, as from now, practicing what I preach. Keep your tent tidy, keep your bits that you need, so you know where you're going to find them. Not have them scattered everywhere. I mean, it's a nightmare. You're lying on your bed, you're in your bag, and oh, where's my power bank, or where's my lead for that? Where's my earplugs? And you can't find them. You've got your stuff everywhere. God, it's so annoying. And you can effing and blinding because you can't find them. If you have it nice and tidy and you know where it all is, you're going to save all that stress. Tip 3, practice what you preach, Darren, next time. Keep your tent tidy. As I've said, a tidy tent is a happy tent. You've been told. Tip 4, if you're like me, getting on a bit, and generally can't go all the way through the night without having a pee, get one of these bad boys. Pea pot. They're great. I mean, saves you getting out your tent in the middle of the night. If it's chucking down the rain or freezing cold, blowing a gale, whatever, you ain't got to get out. Just do your business in your pot, put the lid on, pop it in your vestibule, get back in your bag. Happy days. Pea pot. Tip 4, you've been told. Tip number 5, I'll pass this over to Holly for a lady's perspective.
Thanks, Daz. He just passed it over to me from his van into the living room, you know, social distancing and that. So he's passed it over to me, guys, for tip number 5. So my tip would be, he has said from a woman's perspective, but I think this is just everyone's. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, everyone gets cold at night time. I don't think it matters either if you go in summer or autumn or whatever time of year. I think it always does just get cold at night time. So my tip number 5 would be to layer up thinly. Start off with a nice thermal, some good quality thermals. Make sure that they're up to good quality, the thermals especially, and then obviously layer up with nice thin layers, and then a nice fleece at the top. Obviously, make sure your sleeping bag's up to the weather as well. And also, I think it's important to keep your hands, your feet, and your head warm. I didn't expect to put my hat on when I was asleep, but the hat that I'd been wearing in the day, obviously just my woolly hat, I'd put on as well. I wore my gloves and put really thick socks on. Which obviously, if you're carrying the sleeping bag as well, it needs to be a good lightweight but also warm sleeping bag, which they are hard to find and they're very expensive, but worth it in the end. So yeah, my tip is to wrap up warm at night with thin layers and keep your hands, feet and head warm. So you've been told, and I'll pass it back over to Darren. Daz?
Thanks, Holly, for your words of wisdom. I've now got to nominate 5 other people to give us their words of wisdom. Now, these 5 people I'm going to nominate have supported my channel from the very beginning, and I really appreciate that. So guys, I'd appreciate it if you could give us your words of wisdom. And here goes. First of all is Dave Goodman, a really nice chap, and I'm sure you've got some classic words of wisdom to share. Second is another guy who sniffs out the most awesome wild camping spots when he's out on his trails, and that is SnowyMatrix. Thirdly, another guy who camps in the most bizarre places is Mark from the Wye Explorer. I'm sure, Mark, you've been nominated before. I'm not sure if you're doing a video, but if you aren't, I'd love it if you could do one. Fourth is a little bit of an international feel, and that is Wandering Wiley, all the way from the USA. So if you could give us your words of wisdom, Wiley, that'd be great. And finally, my 5th nomination is, for the ladies again, is Lezleys Adventures. Obviously did not feel obligated to do a video. I just wanted to thank you guys for supporting my channel over the years, and it's much appreciated. So in the meantime, I better get back to work because I've got a new quilt to pay for. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I'll see you on the trails. You've been told.
It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be